How often have you felt scarcity in your life? How often have you felt that you lack something or that there's not enough of something? Did you know that that's one of the main reasons that your body can go into storing and hoarding mode? I'm Fiona Robertson and I'm a body renewer, and I teach you the 3 main causes why your body is storing and hoarding fat that come from psychological reasons and from other reasons of emotions and things like that. But it's not necessarily anything to do with the food. It's got nothing to do with how much exercise you do. There are other 3, hi Fiona, there are 3 other main reasons why your body is actually storing and hoarding, and it's to do with your thoughts, and it's to do with what has gone on in the past for you. Thank you for all the thumbs up. Scarcity is very, very interesting, and I really got into this when I realized that my body had changed again when I became single, when I became a single mum, when I got into the worrying about support, worrying about finances, and worrying about what the hell was going to happen next. Even though it was my decision to leave, I all of a sudden got very scared and got into the scarcity mode. A girlfriend said to me at one point, do you know, Fiona, she said, you are one of the richest women I know. You own your own house, you have a business, but you still have this feeling of lack. And I thought, wow, that's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting how you can still have this feeling of lack. And I wanted to find out where that lack came from. Sometimes lack can come from something that's happened in your past, and you still have this going on in the background, that you feel that you are deprived, or you don't have enough. It could be that you don't have enough love. It could be that you had starvation once in a previous life, so that you've got that going on in your energy at some point as well. And what I help you do is clear that. Can you imagine, another mind chatter, can you imagine that being on a diet is something also related and resonating with this feeling of lack? Can you know what it feels like in your body when you come from lack rather than coming from, though I don't particularly like the word abundant, can you imagine what it feels like when you feel so full and you're having so much pleasure and you're enjoying so much of whatever is going on? Can you imagine that you are not then stuck in this feeling of lack? The diet mentality is definitely coming from a feeling of lack, when you have to restrict and stick to something that you don't really like. But I talk about scarcity and lack coming from a lot of different avenues that maybe you haven't thought about. That's why I entitled today the 3 little known causes for lack. For example, I was told from a family that both my mother and my father were to do with insurance. Always have a nest egg, always save some money. There's lack in the world. You need to always have some money put to one side, so be careful. Don't spend it all at once. Save some for later. And also to do with possessions. Keep that, hoard it. You never know when that's going to go on. My mother and father, growing up in the sort of war generation as well, they had this whole mentality of, my mother's store cupboard was enormous. It was like how much food was in there. And I realised recently how many times I've moved or let my house out for the summer, how many times I've had to empty my kitchen cupboards. I'm like, I've got way too much food here. I'm hoarding. Can you see how other things around you in your life actually show you your psychological reasons why you are hoarding things? And I've had very nice conversations with friends of mine to understand why they hoard things. And it's coming through generations, it's coming through habit, it's coming through our teachings from very strong personalities, what we've been taught as from children, from childhood, why we're storing and hoarding. And I talk about why we store and hoard on our body, and it's just an energetic state that we're often in. But we didn't even realise that we were in that energetic state. So the energetic state of hoarding Mentally, you're thinking there's not enough. And can you imagine what that feels like from your body's perspective? As I said before, there's nothing as responsive to your body than your body, rather. There's nothing as responsive than your body to what your thoughts are and what you're feeling. So can you imagine if you're feeling lack, your body automatically goes into a state of like, oh, there's lack, there's not enough coming, I'll hoard, we'll be able to use that later, I'll save that for fuel for later. Because we're scared and we're worried about our future. So it's coming from your present situation. So maybe there's not enough, I don't have enough to last me, my job's insecure, I'm getting a divorce, oh my God, I'm a single mum, I've got no support, financial or otherwise. Can you see how all these things in your present state have an effect on you? Your diet mentality as well, like, oh my God, I'm gaining weight, I better diet, I better restrict myself even further. Your past as well, so whatever's gone on in your past, past lives, if you've been starved in a past life, or you've come from a very restricted era when you weren't allowed certain things, or certain things weren't available, that can carry on through as well. And also don't forget what's been handed down through generations and generations and generations and generations and generations. So first of all, we don't want to pass that on to the next generation, but we don't want to have it in our generation now either. But also think about the future. Your future is a worry. You're worried about if you're able to cope financially or otherwise, if you've got a roof over your head. These are the basic rules, the Maslow's hierarchy, having all the things in place on the bottom rung before you can start having pleasure and going further forward and then sharing what you've got with the world. These are the sort of like the base values that we really have to know that are in place. So we can have them. We can have the house, the shelter, the food on the table, the clothes on our back, the warmth, financial support. But if we're still coming from lack at some point, scarcity, if you're scared, worried about your future, you will still be in the energy state of lack and your body will still hoard. Not very many people know that. Not very many people get that. What I teach you is how you can undo that state, how you can reverse that state, neutralize the state. Also be aware that the people around you, if you are surrounding yourself with people who are in lack, who would talk about lack, oh, God, busy, there's never enough to go around, haven't got enough money, I'm living on fumes, my petrol tank is so empty. Listen to the conversations that are going on around you and just see how you've surrounded yourself with other people who are in lack, which make you feel a little bit better about your circumstances. I know I had to certainly prune certain people who were really, really in lack and having a very, very hard time of it, because they chose it. They didn't choose to change their state. They didn't choose to see the positive. They didn't choose to make the action. And even though we were talking about it and changing our action and changing things and trying to manifest a better future, these people were still so tied up in their story, so tied up in their past and their fear of the future, that it was affecting me. So I knew I had to at some point have that conversation with them, or if it still didn't change, I can't have those kind of people in my energy because they're going to bring my energy down. My vibration is going to be lower. And that was really kind of scary. I was just like, I don't want to be the kind of person who really struggles with money and really struggles with everything else. So at some point you have to make those decisions, how you cut yourself free from all the people who are bringing you down in your life as well. It's a tough one, but if we want to manifest a better life, if we want to have our body represent how powerful and how successful and how amazing we are, we don't really want to have all these other things being dragged along with us. We're dragging along our old story, we're dragging along the old boyfriend, we're dragging along the old girlfriend who will not get out of their scarcity story, which is going to have a huge effect on you. Basically, the solution for this is changing your energy, doing the work that I promote, changing your thoughts, changing your history, rewriting your history, getting into a better energy every single day and being positive and working towards it and making it a practice that, here's another one. I have to work really, really hard because otherwise I won't have any money. So practicing that you are already abundant, that you're already flourishing, that you're already doing well. I know I did this to manifest the partner that I've got now. I know that I've done this to manifest the house that I've got now. Sometimes you have to be a little bit delusional. Sometimes you have to be a little bit playful to fantasize about the kind of future that you want and feel what it feels like to actually be in that body, in that future where you are this thriving, orgasmic, fun woman who isn't held down by all this scarcity and all this lack. I'm going to be doing a masterclass on how to get into this energy and how you can change your thoughts and all the things that are pulling you down on Thursday night, this Thursday, 7 o'clock UK time, 8 o'clock Central Europe time, because I really want to be able to support you. And so come along, have fun, join in so that we've got no more struggling, no more lack, understand how stress is affecting you and how you can overcome all of those things with one very, very simple technique. And I'm going to be going through that with you on Thursday evening. I'm going to put the link in the chat. So come along. I would love you to join in. And I'll speak to you later on because I've got my third of my 3 little known causes of what's influencing your body. And I will go back over everything at 8 o'clock tonight. So 5 o'clock again. And then at, 7 o'clock. I'm going to go through all of these 3 again very briefly, and I'm going to give you some of the solutions of how you can actually start changing your energy state and changing the thoughts that flow through your mind. Okay, I'm Fiona Robertson, the Body Renewer, and I'll catch you all later. Bye.